Hey y'all, welcome back to 10th Inning Talk. I'm your girl April, also known as All About April on all social media platforms, and I am here to deliver the latest in professional and collegiate softball and baseball news. But before I do that, y'all know I have to give a shout out to my guys, Flowo Boys and his podcast, also known as In the Booth. Now, let me tell you, if you are interested in being on a podcast where you share a little bit of information about your favorite baseball team, contact me, DM me on social media so that I can get this information to Flobo as well. And of course, you should always be finishing your breakfast with my guide sheets every day on Instagram. You get the latest in Black baseball news. And then, of course, there is the Black Baseball Mixtape online so that you have access to articles that are out there to keep you all updated. But without further ado, let's hop into today's episode, which I am very excited to discuss. I have titled it All About I'm an All-Star. Why? Because we are moving into All-Star Week for Major League Baseball, which is a fantastic time. In fact, it's my favorite out of all of the professional sports. And I'm going to tell you about that a bit later. But before I do that, I want to hop into some AUSL news. Athletes Unlimited Softball League, because AUSL, they were on a little break, but the break is over and we are back playing softball. But this week they are playing softball in Rosemont, Illinois. In fact, all four teams are playing in Rosemont, Illinois, and all games have been sold out. So the love that y'all are showing for AUSL and these games, it just can't go unnoticed. It is absolutely wonderful to see that this desire for women's sports, it's being fulfilled. And as we know, and it's been said, all people watch women's sports, but you have to be able to give people the opportunity in order to be able to do that. And I love that it's finally here. And we know that there is more to come. And with more to come, I told y'all on a previous podcast that Mia Scott had joined the Volts as a pitcher. But a new addition has come, but with the Blaze. And those two players are Aaliyah Benford, formerly of Baylor University, but last with the of Ole Miss. And so you may have seen her in the circle in postseason softball for the 2025 season. Did a fantastic job. But she's also a two-way player, and she made her debut on Tuesday night. So congratulations to Aaliyah Benford. So happy for her. But I can't leave out my fellow alum, Allie Newland. She is also a Blaze member, and she was a catcher and an outfielder for the Louisiana State University. So yes, there are some people that they have chosen from the reserves to move up. Now, with AUSL, I do have to give you the rankings as well, because I don't think that I've done that. In the fourth position, it is the Blaze, which is why they most likely made these roster moves. In third place is the Volts. In second place are the Bandits, and holding strong in the top spot, it's going to be the Talons. So if you are interested in looking for a team and you are a bandwagon person, the Talons may be the team for you. But nonetheless, I'm just really, really excited to see everything that is happening with AUSL. They will be in Round Rock, not this weekend, but next weekend. So if you're interested in going to see them, hey, that will be your time if you are in the Texas area. So just let us know, because again, Everyone watches women's sports, and it's a great day to be a softball fan. But to see the AUSL doing so well in its inaugural season, it's just, there are no words because we knew that this could happen, and this is only going to get better. So let me know how you feel about it. Shoot me a DM. I always love hearing from y'all in regards to these things. Now, moving on to Major League Baseball. I don't want to talk about the Dodgers right now because the Dodgers got swept by the Astros. And y'all know I live in Houston. That is just a tragedy and a half. Can't even show my face right now. But I'm just going to always say they cheated. I'm always say they cheated, regardless of if they did or didn't. But no, Houston really went out to LA and handled business. And I have nothing to say about that. So congratulations to them. Last night on the Black Baseball Mixtape podcast, on the live podcast, Cheats was discussing how Jose Altuve was signing fans for everyone. And he was just out there for a while. And I think that that's good to hear because, you know, Dodger fans, we don't really forgive and we definitely haven't forgotten. But to know that he has been a good sport and just decided to do what he felt was best in his heart for fans, I think that that is something that absolutely should be acknowledged. But we also have to talk about All-Star. And in the beginning of this episode, I told y'all that MLB All-Star is actually my favorite out of all of the sports. Now, I've heard that NHL does a very good job as well. So for those of you who don't know, NHL is the National Hockey League. But for MLB Major League Baseball, I just feel like they get it right. And there are so many activities and festivities and things that are going on, but it's something for everyone. It's something for the new fans. It's something for the loyal fans. It's something for the casual fans. And I love that. So you're going to have a futures game this weekend. Futures game meaning players who will ultimately be in MLB. There's the Swingman Classic. So you are going to see HBCU players who will have the time of their lives playing in Atlanta at Truist Park, which is where the All-Star game is this season. So if you are in the area, you definitely want to show up because you know they're going to be having parties and other stuff around there. But they also have the celeb softball game. And then, of course, some of my favorites, the home run derby, which I will be discussing, and then the game. And some people feel like the game is really probably not the highlight of the entire MLB festivities. But I actually like it because I feel like the players still work hard. Out of the other sports, let me tell you something. I have not turned on my TV for an NFL All-Star game in years. Like, it's been so long that I can't even tell you the last time that I've actually watched it because it's unenjoyable. And I know that for them, it's a contact sport, so it's gonna look completely different. But I think now it's like a flag football, and I'm not interested in that. And they aren't interested either in how they play. Now, in regards to the NBA, the National Basketball Association, I think that the NBA was popular for a while, but what typically used to get people excited is, of course, that Friday, Saturday night. And that Friday, Saturday night had to do with the skills challenge, the three-point contest, and then the slam dunk contest. And so many big players began opting out of the slam dunk contest that I'm just like, what is this? And no offense, like, this isn't to say that they don't have great athletes still doing it. But fans want to see certain people doing it. So why aren't you doing it? I don't think, I'm not even going to name the players' names because I know y'all going to be in my DMs forever. But I know that there are certain players who really, they haven't done it. And I'm just like, do it. Why wouldn't you do it? But overall, I believe that the 3-point contest has really taken over. And I do like how they have incorporated the WNBA into that as well. So, I mean, look, to each his or her own. But that NBA game on Sunday, not turning my TV on. Can't tell you the last time that I did. And they have no way of actually looking excited to play. There's no defense being played. I see the score is like 172 to 175. I'm not going to waste my time doing that, you know? Other things that I could be doing. So, but with MLB, listen, all the things that I've already mentioned, and Home Run Derby is just fantastic. I know that some people don't like the way that they have shifted it, but I love it. So now they have 2 players going against each other, and you get a certain amount of time. The player gets to choose who pitches to him, and whoever wins out of those 2 players, you move on to the next round. But it's definitely a test of endurance, and I love that. Some people say and think that the Home Run Derby can mess with your swing. I haven't seen it from current Dodger and 2024 winner Teoscar Hernandez, but you let me know what you think about that as well. So yeah, the Home Run Derby is just a fantastic part. And I also think that it is a good way for up and coming athletes to really get their names out there. So yes, there are some people who are like, Shohei Ohtani should do it. There are people who are like, other players should do it. But for me, I like the fact that the people who are doing it, like, I still like them, and I still think that they have a great enough name to make that well known. So who are the 2025 Home Run Derby participants so far? That is going to be beginning with, from the Atlanta Braves, Ronald Acuna Jr., who was the first to say that he was going to do it. And this is, of course, even more special because Ronnie is going to be doing this in front of his home crowd. So you know the people are going to be going crazy. Currently, he has 9 home runs. And for those of you who don't watch baseball regularly, the only reason why he only has 9 is because he started the season late in around May due to him tearing his ACL last season. So yeah, for him to be performing the way that he is just outstanding. The second person, and he has been all over everywhere, Cal Riley of the Seattle Mariners. And he is currently sitting at 35 home runs as of right now. But we don't know because, you know, homeboy could be hitting another home run as we are speaking or later on today. But he has just been so fun to watch. And this is also going to be his very first All-Star. So very excited to see him take the field. Third person is one of my favorite young players, and that is going to be James Wood of the Washington Nationals. And he is currently sitting at 23 home runs. So James is very, very fun to watch, and I know that he is going to give us a show. Fourth person is Mr. Highlight Reel himself, Byron Buxton, and he is currently sitting at 20 home runs. He plays outfield for the Minnesota Twins. Listen, Byron Buxton is always on Finish Your Breakfast, okay? Because he is always doing something offensively or defensively, which makes me so excited that he gets another all-star bid as well. Just very excited for him. And then finally, for now, we are going to have O'Neal Cruz of the Pittsburgh Pirates, and he is currently sitting at 15 home runs. So, hey, let me know who you think is going to win so far. But I think that this is a good showing. I would love to see, Cheats mentioned this last night. I would love to see Lawrence Butler of the of the Athletics play as well. I think that it would be really, really fun because he is an Atlanta guy. So we will see if he decides to join in on the fun. And he has such a fun personality too. So we'll keep the faith. Okay. Now, who actually made the All-Star starting roster? So with MLB, you get to vote 5 times a day to choose exactly who you want to be a starter. And it starts off with just everybody, and then they make cuts, and then we get to this point. So for the National League, this is going to be Freddie Freeman of the Dodgers, and he's a first baseman. Second baseman, Ketel Marte of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Shortstop, and his very first All-Star, Francisco Lindor of the New York Mets. Third baseman, Manny Machado of the Padres, San Diego Padres. Catcher for the Los Angeles Dodgers, Will Smith. And in the outfield, it's going to be Kyle Tucker of the Cubs, Pete Crow Armstrong, also known as PCA of the Cubs, and then the hometown guy himself, Ronald Acuna Jr. of the Atlanta Braves. Can't forget DH Shohei Ohtani of the Los Angeles Dodgers. So those are going to be the position players. And for the American League, we have first base, Vlad Guerrero Jr. of the Toronto Blue Jays, who are currently in first place in the AL East. Second base, Gleyber Torres of the Detroit Tigers. Shortstop, Jacob Wilson of the A's. Third base, Jose Ramirez of the Cleveland Guardians, and just truly an underrated, phenomenal athlete. Catcher, Cal Riley of the Mariners. And in the outfield, we have Javi Baez of the Tigers, Riley Green of the Tigers, and Mr. All Rise himself, Aaron Judge of the New York Yankees. And for DH, it's going to be Ryan O'Hearn of the Orioles. Now, here's something different for Major League Baseball that other sports don't do. Every team has to have a representative. And with every team having a representative, that means that you may not see your favorite on the field because someone from another team has to have a representative in that particular case. So with that happening, snubs happen, meaning sometimes someone you feel is very deserving of this roster spot, they don't get it. All right. So there are going to be some reserves. You have reserves like Fernando Tatis Jr., you have Julio Rodriguez, you have other players, but there are some people who are very upset about some people who did not make the All-Star roster. And let me talk about some of these snubs. So for the NL, Mr. $765 million himself, Juan Soto, a lot of people were shocked that he is not an all-star. And when he was asked, his response was, I guess I just need to work a little bit harder, which I appreciated that because he could have gone a completely different way with that. But I want to remind people he did not have the best start to the season. And although he is performing extremely well and leading in many categories, that probably rang true for many people. Second person, and I'm going to speak to this one because I know a lot of people won't. Andy Pajes, and I am very hard on him. I really am very hard on him. But he has just turned into a phenomenal center fielder and an excellent offensive player. So just a very aggressive base runner. And I know that people are like, I guess not. You're not watching the Dodgers enough to be able to know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you pull up his stats, he's going to beat some of these outfielders in those categories, including y'all boy from the Padres, Fernando Tatis Jr. You can debate, you can talk to the wall, but the stats don't lie, okay? Um, and a couple of others have been Phillies players, Trey Turner and also Ranger Suarez. So yeah, some people are shocked that they did not make All-Star as a reserve or a starter, but hey, here we are. And for the AL, some of the snubs were Randy Arozarena of the Mariners. And I'm going to be honest, I feel that Randy should have made it over Julio. I'm actually shocked Julio made it. I know that he's a very likable player and he is a highlight reel. However, if we're talking about best outfielders, and yeah, I'm gonna have to get that to somebody else. Another snub that some people are kind of looking sideways about is going to be Joe Adell. And I think that Joe Adell has the same issue as Juan Soto in that he had a slower start. Because I remember watching some of the plays and being like, eek, okay, I get it. But he has just been playing phenomenal recently and his stats look amazing. So it's unfortunate, but I think that he can keep this momentum going to not only help his team, but keep our fingers crossed we can see him next year as well. And then you're going to have George Springer of the Blue Jays, who's also been phenomenal this year. And for a pitcher in the AL, yes, I'm going to say an Astros pitcher, Framber Valdez. A lot of people are shocked that he did not make the starting or the reserve. So, we will see how all of this goes down. But I want to hear from y'all. Who do you think should have made the All-Star team but did not? Now, one thing that I do want to talk about in regards to All-Star is that, yes, you can vote up to 5 times a day for the starting part. But we also have to realize that for a lot of these players, they do have to be likable by the fans and not just likable and promotable. I was watching, it must have been maybe MLB Network. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. And someone was saying that Major League Baseball players do not communicate as well with fans as players in other sports do. And I will 100% agree with that. And I think that that also plays a role in the voting because you're either voting for someone whose name is out there, like out there, or you find them as a woman attractive, or they're just a fantastic player that you can't ignore. Like everybody knows Shohei Ohtani. Dodgers fans are going to vote for their players. But for other people, like, how do you know them? So when you look at a player like a Framber Valdez or a Joe Adell, like, how do people outside of Major League Baseball, especially a casual fan, they're not picking up their phone and voting 5 times for them because they don't know them. And I do think that fans need to interact a little bit more with us through social media. Now, safely. Because, you know, some of y'all be talking and we be like, hush it. But I will give you an example. I saw Bryce Harper's TikTok and I absolutely love it so much. And prior to this, I was not the biggest Bryce Harper fan. And it didn't have anything to do with, you know, people disliking him because I know a lot of people did. I just didn't have a reason to like him because I didn't know him like that. But watching his TikTok, he's hilarious and he has a great personality. And it just opened the door for me as a fan to be like, you know what? I'm going to follow him and I am going to support his TikTok because this is really, really cool to see a baseball player normalize himself and communicate with everyday Americans. So, if you are a player out there, this is something that I would highly suggest for you to do. Jazz Chisholm has such a large personality, and I love it. He is so fun. I feel the same way about Lawrence Butler, just so fun. But there are some people, like, I have no clue who they are. And I hear people say Jose Ramirez is an underrated player. And I agree. But guess what else? We don't know him. Like he's not promoted and like other players are. And people will blame it on being a small market team. But I don't think that that's just the issue. I think the other issue is that we don't get to see these players in their own element be fun. Now I'm going to give y'all another example as well. World Baseball Classic. Just phenomenal. You get to see these players take on personalities that you didn't even know existed. Like the whole Captain America thing. I'm actually excited to see Aaron Judge be a part of the WBC. But in 2023, when the WBC happened, Team Puerto Rico, every single person dyed his hair blonde, including the coaches. And they were so fun. Not only were they fun, they had the songs going, they had the home run celebrations. It was just everything. Okay. It was everything. And those are the things that we want to see from players as well. So I think that that is an added benefit to some of the people who did make it. Like we see them, we know them. They have, certain personalities. And if you're someone who didn't, like add that to your game. Allow the fans to get to know you in a way that will actually make you more marketable, but also make you more likable. Because, hey, we're living in a world where when you are seen, people are always going to give you the benefit of the doubt. So that's all I have for today. I'm just very excited about All Star. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm really excited about All Star. Let me see who I have is gonna win the home run derby so far. I'm going with Cal Riley. No, you know what? I got James Wood winning. I have James Wood winning. I think that Cal Riley is the easy pick because he has the most home runs. But for home run derby, I'm going with James Wood. And I hope that you are too. So yes, let me know who you think who's gonna win, and let me know what you're most excited about with MLB All-Star this year. So just such a fun and great time. And then of course, make sure you're always supporting the AUSL Athletes Unlimited Softball League. The 4 teams, the Blaze, the Talons, the Volts, and the Bandits. Thank you so much for tuning in to 10th Inning Talk. I hope you had a good time with me today. Be sure to check out my guy, Flobo Boys. And remember, if you are a fan of a baseball team, also hit me up so that I can connect you with Flobo because he's always looking for fans of all 30 Major League Baseball teams. Be sure to also finish your breakfast with my guy, Cheats, every morning on Instagram. And then, of course, there are always articles that you can use to fill your time, but to also learn a little bit more about Black baseball. And just remember, it's a great day to be a baseball and a softball fan. Until next time, bye, y'all.